Brothers concert experience. I'm posting this video on the 1-year anniversary of the concert, so I cannot believe it's already been a year. It's just crazy how fast that went. Me, Kaylin, and Jenny took a trip to Dallas to go see them because they weren't coming to Kansas. And my mom and her friend went. I don't know, it was a long trip. It was like 12 hours just getting there, but we got there and then we got to meet up with some of my mom and my mom's friend has a friend in Texas, so we met up with them. And then my uncle and my cousin live down there, so we met up with them. The day of the concert, it was August 6th, and we went to see the JFK Presidential Museum in the morning, and then we got dropped off for VIP and getting our tickets and all that and standing in line. It was so hot. It was 104 degrees outside that day, and you can just imagine, like, you know, it's Texas in August in summer, so it was so hot and we were sweating so much. And I was like, I hope I don't look all gross and sweaty in my meet and greet picture, but thankfully I didn't. We got our tickets and we were standing in line. We had to stand in like 4 different lines. We had one to get our VIP stuff, and then one to get our tickets, and one to actually go in and stuff. There was a bunch of lines. We went to do, we got seated for sound check. We were 4 rows back, I believe. We were 4 rows back for sound check. And then Kaylin got her question answered pretty quick first, again. And it was funny because she asked the question, and then they said, okay, now you have to, you're like, you haven't done sound check, you have to sing. And she's like, no. And so it took a while. So she wanted to do it, so they went to somebody else, and then they went back to her, and so she kind of did, but she didn't really have a specific tune to follow. And Nick's like, we waited all this time for that? And she gave him one of her looks, like she always gives me when I'm sarcastic. And Joe actually was singing during Turn Right to me. There was one part where Kevin was trying to answer a question about marriage and starting a family and everything, and Nick's over talking in the microphone they have that's like attached to all their in-ears, so only they know what's going on. And Nick's sitting there talking into it, and Joe's standing there with a smirk on his face, and John is laughing, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I want to know. But we never found out. She's probably just like, I don't know, being silly, making fun of him or something. I don't know. Yeah, and then so after sound check, we got in line to go for the meet and greet. And by the way, they're like, the entire 15 minutes I'm in the meet and greet room is just amazing because it's like air conditioned. So it was awesome. And then I just started getting nervous when I was getting ready to go up. So when it was my turn, I walked up and I went and I came around the corner, and Kevin was there first, so I hugged him and I'm like, congrats to you and Danny about the baby. And he's like, oh, thank you. And I said, is Danny here? And he goes, no. And I'm like, oh no. But then I went to hug Joe, and I had something very specifically that I wanted to say to him. Very specific. I had it packed out like word for word what I was gonna say. And I hugged him, and my brain turned to mush, and the only thing that came out of my mouth was, oh my God, I love you. That's it. That's all that came out. And I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I still can't remember what I was gonna say. It was gone. In that moment, it was just gone. And I don't know why. It's just gone. And then I went to hug Nick, and my brain was like all kind of mushy, and I couldn't think straight. So I just kind of like, he was like, how are you? I'm just like, good, how are you? I just kind of like replied, because I had something I was going to say to him too. But of course, and I remember what I was going to say to him. I was going to ask him how it was either something about aliens or ask him how his diabetes numbers were. It was one of those things. But, yeah. And that's, I just like replied to what he said because I was like so mushy. after I hugged Nick, I turned around and stood between him and Joe, put my arms around him, take a picture. And then after the picture was done, I took my arm around Nick and I hugged Joe again. And then I was pulling away, and he looked at me, and it was one of those. It was one of those looks. It was. Whoa. Man, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. It was like a year ago. Okay. Anyway, my knees almost I almost fell over. So Joe still had his arm around me, and Nick still had his hand on my back, or else I probably would have just like toppled right over. I was walking out, and Nick passed my bag, and he goes, "Have fun at the show." I'm like, "Oh, I will," because I mean, who can't have fun at a Jonas Brothers show? You just have got to have fun. It's just like you can't sit down. It's just like having fun is inevitable. You're gonna have fun, so you know. So I walked outside and the meet and greet, and I'm still like shaking and in tears because of what had just happened. And Kaylin and Jenny came out, because I was in front of them, so they came out and they found me, and then we went to the merch tent and we bought merch, and then we went and we found our seats. We were sitting there, and somebody who I talked to on Twitter, her name is Chastity, she was going to the concert too, she just didn't have VIP, and so we were sitting there, and then I got up to go meet her, and I went back to my seat, and while I was sitting there, Kavanaugh, he's, if you know the Jonas friends, then you know Kavanaugh, but he's really nice, and he was standing up at the front, and so I got up and I went to go take a picture with him. He was actually on his way backstage, so it was really nice of him to actually stop for a picture with me. He's so nice, and actually he tweeted me a couple months ago, and saying how I was nice and sweet, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I was so glad I got to meet him because he was so nice. I went back to my seat, and then Carmen came on, and they have a great live performance. Like Amy, the whole time she was going, okay, we gotta get your voices warmed up for the Jonas Brothers, and they're wonderful artists, and their music is absolutely amazing, but it's like the way that they could put it like on, present it on stage and perform it, you know, that's as important as making good music. So it was just, I mean, the way that they had a great stage presence, and it was a lot of fun just watching them. Mike Tompkins, he is I believe he's signed to Jonas Group, but he's friends with the Jonas Brothers, and actually I think more with their uncle, but you know, same circles kind of thing. But he was the DJ at the beginning, and then in between Carmen and Jonas Brothers. Jonas Brothers came on. Their live shows are just absolutely amazing, and I'm really actually sad that they're not doing any more for a while. And I say for a while because I'm going to keep my hopes up. So, keep my fingers crossed. Looking on the silver lining, the positive side there, they played a little bit longer, and I started crying during that because I have both concerts I went to. The concerts I went to that Nick was singing that, I cried. And then for some reason I started crying during Wedding Bells. During Burnin' Up, Big Rob was Skyped in to do his part in it, which was really cool. If you're in this fandom back when Big Rob was around, then, you know, Big Rob is just awesome. Big Rob is for real. Yeah. And then it was over, which is always sad, like when concerts get over. But it ended, and then we went outside and we were looking around trying to get something to drink because we were really thirsty, and there was a fence, and it opened, and then everybody started like running over there screaming about it. And I was standing, and like we were halfway across the venue at this time, and I was like, I wonder what that's about. Kaylin's like, by the time you get over there, they're gonna be, whoever's there is gonna be gone, and it's probably like one of the band members or something. But I mean, the band members cool, and there's already a big crowd of people, so it was like I'd just be standing at the back. So I was like, well then, okay. So we went outside waiting for my mom and her friend, and then her other friends from Texas who actually drove us to the concert because they know how to get around Dallas, and we don't. So yeah, they came and picked us up, and then I think we went to McDonald's afterwards. And the next day, we drove home. And that was it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of my Jonas Brothers concert experience. Don't forget to hit that big thumbs up and give it a like, and subscribe to my channel to be notified when more of my videos are posted. Chicken wing, ham and cheese, and bye!